Welcome back everybody, I'm Michael Foley, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to hit somebody with a jump spin back kick. A couple of points about this kick. You want to hit with your heel. So what I want to do is I want to curl my toes up so that my heel becomes the furthest point of my foot away from my body. When I pick my foot up, my shin should be parallel to the floor and my heel should be pointing straight out. When I kick, my base leg is bent. I'm gonna lean forward a little bit and I'm gonna drive my heel straight back before retracting and putting it down. Now the easiest way to throw this kick is from a side-on stance. We'll show it from a front-on stance a little later, but check this out first. We're gonna start completely side-on this way. So my body is perpendicular to the target. From here, I'm gonna turn my head, turn my shoulders, turn my feet. Now if you notice, my feet are pointing away from you. I'm gonna scoop my back leg up. I point my heel at the target. I drive straight back, then I exit on this side. Now the easiest way to train this is from a completely side-on stance. So I wanna be perpendicular to my target when I start. I'm gonna turn my head, then my shoulders, then my feet, and I'm gonna keep rotating my head around until I can spot my target again, and then I'm gonna scoop up my back leg and throw that back kick. It looks like this. Okay, let's see it from the side. So perpendicular stance, my target's over here. I'm gonna turn my head, my shoulders, my feet, scoop up my back kick, exit on the other side. Now, if I'm gonna do this from a karate style stance, it's kind of easy. I just have to go through the movements I just did. But if I'm in a more of a kickboxing stance here, then an easy way to do this is off a combination. I'm gonna step across with my front foot, pointing my heel at the target. Then I go through the steps I just did. I turn my head, my shoulders, my feet are already turned. I take my back leg, throw my back kick, and end up on the other side. Now from the side. Now let's talk about the jump. Realistically, you only have to jump a little bit. So if you go back and watch old school martial arts movies like Jean-Claude Van Damme and Kung Fu Theater, every time somebody does a jump kick, they're super high in the air. That's how I used to try to do this kick when I was a little kid. But you grow up, you figure things out, and realistically speaking, you just need to be able to clear your feet from the floor to completely eliminate friction of your foot, your base leg twisting on the floor and getting slowed down that way. So the jump entails two things. It's the jump itself, and it's a twist. So it looks like this. If I'm perpendicular to my target, I just want to jump and do a half turn, so 180 degrees, and I should end up facing the other way. So from here, I'm going to turn my head, my shoulders, I'm going to start to turn my feet, but I put a little bend in my knees first, and I'm just going to jump a little tiny bit from here, and again. So from here, once you have that down, we're going to add one more thing. We're gonna let our kicking leg just trail a little tiny bit. I'm gonna do a half a chamber. So it looks like this. Notice there it lands second. Watch again. Okay, let's try this next part on the bag. Okay, so from here, I'm about arm's length away from the target. I'm gonna go through the motions I just did. I'm gonna little jump, turn my head, turn my shoulders, turn my feet. And that lift I did with my trailing leg, I'm just gonna scoop that up and throw a little back kick so it looks like this. Okay, let's look at it from the back. Where should you aim to hit? You're looking for the midsection, so anywhere between the hip and say your opponent's pec, so anywhere right here in the midsection. Ultimately, you'd want to hit them in the ribs on either side, the liver being on the right or right here. If your partner's left-handed, it's easier to kick them in the liver. If they're not, then what you want to see is them rotating over for a right-hand cross. So you want to time that kick as it comes in. Just on our friend Bob here, it looks like this. If you notice, I'm barely picking my foot up off the floor. I just want to jump high enough so that my foot loses contact with the floor. That's going to help speed up the rotation. The speed of your rotation is way more important than the height of the jump itself. So concentrate on whipping yourself around quickly, leaving the floor just high enough. What if you don't fight in a side stance? What if you're more of a straight on kickboxing stance? How do you throw the kick from here? There's two ways you can do it. You can do a cheat step, where off of a combination, I take a little step, pointing my heel at the target, or I'm gonna jump from here and I'm gonna over rotate. So I'm gonna have to jump more than 180 degrees rotation. The first one looks like this. So from here, I throw my punch combination, I step. Now from here, it's just a little hop before I do my rotation and kick. Again. And the over rotation looks like this. I'm slightly side on, but I'm not completely side on. So from here, off the combination or not, I'm gonna jump and I'm gonna do more than 180 degrees and I end up in the same place I did earlier. And this is what this looks like on Bob without taking the cheat step. Just from here, I'm gonna over rotate, hit him with my jump spin back. So I'm still in a good stance to throw punches. And from here, okay, I'm gonna bring my son Chris in for this, and because it's Father's Day, I'm gonna let him punch me in the face. So here's the best time to hit somebody with a jump spin back kick. Now this is one of my favorite kicks, and this is the way I've always tried to set it up throughout my point karate and kickboxing career. My opponent's across from me. I wanna be just outside of their reach, just outside of their set point. So if my opponent can hit me with the jab, I'm too close. If my opponent can take one step in with their front foot and hit me with the jab, we're too close. I just want to be a little bit past that. My opponent has to travel forward a little bit just to get inside of punch range. That's my goal. If we're here, I'm gonna back up a little bit, and as they're coming towards me and I see the punch start to come in, that's when I'm gonna turn. Here's the trick. I don't wanna just turn because I'm gonna get hit in the back of the head. What I actually want to do is turn and lean away from my opponent. So I'm jumping away on a bit of an angle. It looks like this. They're coming towards me, they throw their two punches, I lean, I turn my head, scoop, and I hit the back kick right in the liver. So at half speed, it looks like this. My opponent's coming towards me, they go to punch, and I tag him in the liver. A good way to practice this is actually up against the wall. Just come take a look. I've got a padded wall here. I know most of you don't have access to that, so be careful. You don't want to cause any damage to your house. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get as close to the wall as I possibly can, and I'm gonna concentrate on doing the drill I just did. So I'm gonna bend my knees, turn my head, turn my shoulders, turn my feet, but I'm also gonna jump away from the target this way. At the last second, I'm gonna scoop my back leg and just pop this lightly with my spin back kick. It looks like this. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Don't forget to check out my Kickboxing Fundamentals playlist. There's lots of good stuff in there. I'll leave the link to that in the description below. I'm Michael Foley. I'll see you on the mats.